Alright, so students, you want to click on classwork, and there you will find 4 instructions, right? So you want to follow these instructions one by one. I'm going to start off with number 1, which requires you to write your notes in your journals for studying purpose. The notes are in the form of a document down below, elements and principles of design, right? So you want to click on that. Once you have done so, you will see every information that you need to write in your journals. I want to start off with what is visual arts. Now, this is a creative art process whose products are to be appreciated by seeing works such as paintings, drawings, graphics, sculpture, and filmmaking. Another word for filmmaking is videography. All right. I want to look at the elements in some specific ways. All right, we want to start off with knowing that the elements, these are the building blocks or the foundation to create a work of art. The first one is dot. Now this is a mark that can be the beginning or the ending of a line, right? Then we want to look at line. Now this is an identifiable path created by a point moving in space. It is one-dimensional and can vary in width, direction, and length. Then we move on to shape. Now this is a result of enclosed lines to form a boundary. Shapes are two-dimensional and can be described as geometric, organic, or abstract. Now if you look at the trend here, a dot, once a dot is created, if you are supposed to drag that dot, it will then form a line, right? And then the lines now, they go ahead to create shapes if you put them together. Color, now with color, this has to do with light being reflected from a surface to the eye. Without light, you can't see color. Texture, this has to do with either tactile, which has to do with you feeling something, or visual, which has to do with you seeing something. Then now we want to move on to space, and with just texture right there, that has to do with surfaces, how they look or how they feel. Space has to do with the area around, above, and within an object, right? Now form, this is a three-dimensional geometrical figure as opposed to a shape which is two-dimensional. So form, you can see it from different angles, all right? And value, which is the final one that we want to look at in terms of elements, this refers to the degree of lightness and darkness of a specific hue. And another word for hue is color. Now we want to look at the principles. Now these govern the elements, or these are the rules and the tools or guidelines that artists use to organize the elements of an artwork, right? So now the first one is rhythm. Now this refers to the arrangement of the shape in a way which creates an underlying beat. So this underlying beat, it moves, and that is how you will understand that there is an existence of rhythm, right? Then they have movements, which is connected to the rhythm, is the principle of art used to create impression of action in a work of art. So if, for example, a line moves up and down, zigzag, you know that we're talking about movement. And if you just simply go through the rest of the principles, which are not necessarily the things that we want to focus on right now, we want to make sure that our focus is on the elements. So as I said before, the elements are the building blocks, which we need to know at first, and the principles, these govern the building blocks. So it would be kind of confusing now for me to go through and explain everything. The main aim is that we understand the elements first. So you want to make sure that those are the things that you focus on. Now, the principles, they will come in a little later, whereas we will see how they tie in with the elements. So you have the others there like unity, repetition, harmony, emphasis, contrast, and so on. All right, so you just want to ensure that you write the notes, ensure you write both elements, all the elements, and all the principles, so that you can have them written and you can have them sent to Mr. Johnson, so that you will receive your grades. And talking about grades, you will see all that information a little later as to how we grade that. All right. Now, the second thing that you want to look at is creating a sample chart. And this is a sample chart of all the elements. That's dot, line, shape, color, texture, space, form, and value. We're going to see how we create that. You want to ensure you border your page where you have your name, the topic, which is elements and principles, the date, and your grade. You want all of that to be present on your presentation. Alright, so you can draw these, or you can print them, or you can do cutouts and then paste them in these sections. So this is how you will arrange your scrapbook. You first want to border your page neatly, and I'll emphasize that, neatly. Then you want to put your name, you want to put the grade that you're in, the topic, elements and principles of design, and then you want to put the date. So you want to create some squares on the left hand side of your book. Inside those squares you want to put each element, and then beside them you're going to create an arrow, and inside another, well, I should say it's a rectangle now, you want to put the name of those elements. So I've given you 2 examples there. Your duty is to go research and do the rest. Alright, now you want to go back to your information, where we're going to take on number 3, which requires you to take clear and neat pictures of your written notes and your sample chart, right? Then you want to turn in this information to your teacher. I will send you a link video that shows you how you turn in your assignments, and I will also send this link to you which explains your notes and your assignment. Now the next thing you want to look at is the assessment rubric. This basically guides you in terms of how you present your work, and this is how I grade your work. Alright, so those are the different sections that I use to grade you, and we have from highest to the lowest. First thing you want to do is ensure that you define all of your terms, or your definitions are written in your book. That's the notes. You want to make sure that you write off all that information and you show the teacher that you did. That will give you 10 marks. You want to use your tools properly. Make sure that they are done in a way that is neat, and that will cover the third part, neatness of all your work. And that's basically it, 30 marks.